Boom! What's going on, everyone? It's Steve Larson. Welcome to another episode of Secret MLM Hacks Radio. This is actually the final episode of Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Let me go ahead and tell you why. If you're like me, you know MLM is an amazing opportunity to grow a real asset for yourself. But you also see that there's huge issues starting to emerge. Like, why haven't big MLMs let tactics change in over 30 years? Or why have they been cutting commissions smaller and smaller? Or even, how dumb is it that old MLM rules say you'll get in trouble when you use the internet to grow your team? These are some of the blaring questions we all face today. This podcast will show you how real MLMers like us are waging war on the old dying methods. And we aren't cheating by only bugging uninterested family and friends. Follow this podcast while I expose the shocking methods I'm using to build my 10,000 person downline and get people begging to join my team daily. Here's to the new tactics without all those old, rusty MLM shackles. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. What's up, my friends? Okay, so I started this out, and if you guys listen, especially the last 4 or 5 episodes, what I've been doing is walking through and sharing with you guys specific things that's going on in my side, my business, and I've let out of the bag multiple times. Like, the way I've built this and the systems that I've built this with have allowed this to be kind of on the back end of my actual business. This is not my actual full-time business. It's not my actual full-time focus. The reason why my downline continues to grow, the reason why there's so many things that I'm able to go pull off with this is because I treat this like any other business, right? And so I actually am shutting down Secret MLM Hacks. There's a lot of things going on personally with certain opportunities that are coming my way. There's a lot of things that are happening, and for me, it just doesn't make sense to keep it open anymore. So I don't know. It's probably I've told you guys this story before, and I actually am going to cut over to a video of me telling this to my actual group, and I'm going to tell the story on how this whole thing came about. So if you want to know that story, you want to know why that happened, stay tuned because I'm going to cut over there. But just real fast, I just want you to understand just a few things. All business has 3 needs, all right? All business. Now, there is varying opinions. There's varying, people saying, I need this, I need that, right? People say hey, it's actually 5 needs, or it's 10 needs, or whatever, okay? But when you really whittle it down, every business needs a consistent source of leads, right? It has to be able to convert some of those leads, and you have to be able to deliver on what you sold. Right. And when you come down to it, those 3 things are, all business involves that. And so all I did is I sat back about, it was about 7 years ago when I really had this idea. And I was like, what if there's a way to solve that, right? That where there's a consistent lead system where I'm not a part of the system and I'm not the driver of the system. It's its own, I think of it like its own entity, right? Second of all, something besides me needs to close a percentage of those leads. And then something else besides me needs to give what was sold. And when I started thinking about it that way, and I was like, okay, now think about this. We got 2 separate sides of this coin. There's the product side, and then there is the opportunity side for those who want to go blow up. And I realized that it actually is the exact same on both sides also, and that they talk to each other. They actually connect together. So I don't want to go too deep into this. I want you to understand a few things that are happening with this, the so what of this as well. As of right now, I think we're coming up on 100,000 downloads, something like that. I haven't looked in quite a while, but we're close to that. And I've spent no money on ads. Spent no money to the show. I spent no money on ads to the show. I spent no money on. I just want you to understand how you very well can pull off what I've pulled off here. At the time of me making this right now is December 16th, Monday, and I have it's over about 2,200 people have gone through the application process to join my personal downline. So that's nuts. I don't let all of them in, but what I do though is when someone does join, I just hand off the same system. So the thing is, it's gotten past that critical spot where now it grows on its own, right? You know what I mean? The heavy lifting in order to get that noise, in order to get people coming over to come join me. That's largely over, and now the ball is big enough and rolling fast enough that it kind of just grows on its own, and which is exciting. And there's other things happening for me that I don't know. That seems very elusive, but I need to change some things that I'm doing, right? And life is evolution and change, so I'm doing that myself. So we're closing the program. Now, those who already bought it, you obviously still have access to it. But what we're doing is we're closing public access to it. So starting now, actually today, as of me filming this right now, if you go to secretmlmhacks.com, it will say closed. But what does that mean, Steven? And why are you doing this? Okay, I'm still going to cut over to that video real fast, and I want you to see what I'm talking about and why I'm doing that. But beforehand, I just want you to know real fast again why my team is so unique. Okay, why my team is so unique. When you go join any MLM, and I don't care which one you join, I like the industry. All right, I like the opportunity. I like that those who put out are the ones who get paid. Right, I like that. I love systems like that. I love it when I get rewarded for what I actually do and the results I cause, rather than just am I busy. Right. So anyway, what makes my team so unique is that when you go out and you start recruiting people, like your upline or downline teaches or whatever, HQ or whatever it is, right? The issue is that you are the delivery of what I was talking about before. You are the delivery of your own lead gen. You are the delivery of selling. You are the delivery of fulfilling on what was sold. And if you're like, my MLM still sends out the packages, that's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that at all. Mine does that as well. I'm talking about the training after you recruit somebody. I'm talking about support after, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's the issue right there. You have to understand that I did an episode a while ago on the show called, and there was multiple costs, right? There's several kinds of costs of MLM, just like with anything. And I realized I don't want to be the person I don't want to spend the cost of my personal time. Not worth it to me. Not worth it to me. Okay, if I'm going to grow this on the back of my real business and I'm going to grow it to a real asset that actually pays for other assets, which is what we really do with the money, my wife and I, then what I'm going to do is I have to make actual systems that pull that off, like I was just saying before. So this is I know it's messy, but if you're not on YouTube, this is probably one of those episodes to go jump on, because I'm going to go jump over to a video here real fast, and I'm going to draw a lot. And you guys are going to see some very key things on why this has all come about, okay? So first of all, the biggest thing that I do with my team, and I just want to recap this very 30,000 foot view so that you can see again why this whole thing has worked so well, why it's blown up so much. And you're going to see again why Secret MLM Hacks radio has been so disruptive in the industry. And I want you to see that. And I want you to see there's a very key reason. It's not anything that I'm holding up right here on the sheet. I'm going to cut over to it in the video and you'll see in just a second why. Okay. But first of all, what I do is I teach traffic methods, and I send the traffic to something that is not necessarily free, but somewhat cheapish, right? It can be cheap. It can be up to $1,000. It can be up to $10,000. Honestly, the price doesn't totally matter. But the reality, what the point of it is that this self-liquidating offer, this is what actually goes and pays for the ads. Okay. So I've never actually put any of my own money in this ever. Okay. Ever. I think I did in my first MLM, that first $500 to join that first MLM. Okay. But what I do is I send traffic to this self-liquidating offer. It self-liquidates, meaning that money dumps right back into traffic. Okay. And you're like, well, Steven, that doesn't make any money. I don't care. The reality is what I want to do is I want to get the other thing that I get, which is a buying list. I want to get the customer list. I want to get the list of buyers. I want to get the people that have opted in for this. The list is the asset. Then what I go do is I approach them and say, hey, why don't you come join my downline if you want to? And if you're a good fit, go through this little tiny application process, and then we'll get you on the phone and we have automated training. I'm not involved in any of this machine. Okay, and that's part of the magic, and there's a lot of people that have pulled this off. It's not just me anymore. That's what Secret MLM Hacks taught. Okay, let me teach you traffic that doesn't really involve you. In fact, there's one part that really does, and I'm doing it right now. Okay, publishing. Okay, then let's go create some cool products that are cheap or whatever price point you're comfortable with, and we're gonna send paid traffic to it, not your MLM, not your MLM product, to the thing that you made. On the back of that, you're going to get a list. And then you're going to approach them to join a downline. Still not involved. I'm not involved with that at all. Okay. Then we're going to jump on the phone. Not me. I kick those leads to the people in my downline that are the killers that I've realized like, oh, you'd be really good as a closer. Do you want me to send you free leads? The only requirement is you have to call them within like really fast every time I send them to you. I'm like, oh, all right. Guess what? I automated the notification to that person, and it's actually a group of, I'd say maybe 10-ish people now, and in my downline, and it rotates sending leads to all those people. So I'm not doing it. Okay. Then what does that do? That grows my team, man. And I'm not actually involved in it. Last, the training piece. That's why I have a whole program that is just for my downline called Hack MLM, and it walks them through their first 30 days inside my MLM. Okay. Now I'm telling you all this because I just want to recap real fast on why this has been such a big deal, why I worked and hacked the MLM model. I love what I do. It's super fun. I love it. When I first got hired by Russell Brunson, I was a good funnel builder, but I was not really a marketer. And so I was really good at building funnels, but I was still largely broke because money is the byproduct of marketing, not a product. Oh, write that on a t-shirt, staple to your face, okay? Because that's a big one, okay? I was a good funnel builder. I was a bad marketer. So I was his funnel builder at ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson's. What? Oh my gosh, can you imagine? That guy was top in 2 MLMs at the same time in his life. Like, that's insane, all with the same power of the things I'm teaching. Where do you think I learned a lot of it, all right? But what I was doing is I was just hustling. And I was just learning and I was putting things together, and I realized all these different things, and my brain just turned on once I left college, even more than it had. And I started getting tired. I would sleep from midnight to 5. I would ride my bike because we didn't have enough money for another car, and I would ride it into ClickFunnels' office. And I would go and I would, at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I would work on my own stuff. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., I would work on Russell's stuff because he would be in there at that time. Then I'd go back home and I'd ride my bike back home through the snow, through all the stuff, through whatever. Ride my bike back home, several miles, it was not short. And then I'd be with my family till about 9 or 10 p.m. and I'd work on my own stuff again, 10 p.m. to midnight. So I was squeezing out 5 to 6 hours a day on the side of working for one of the most intense work environments you could ever envision, ClickFunnels. Okay, it's very intense there. Okay, now I'm bringing this up. Steven, this is a long video. Just stick with me for just a moment here with this, okay? About 6 months into this, I was getting tired. I was sleeping 5 hours a day. I was working 9 hours a day for Russell. I was working 5, 6 hours on my own stuff. And I was just like hauling, okay? And I started feeling a little bit worn down. And I think Russell could tell. I literally sat this far from him, it was just an arm's length away. We sat back to back, slightly off center. And his monitor would reflect back into mine. So if nothing was on our screens, I could see his face in my monitor, which was like super freaky for a while. Anyway, oh man, that freaked me out the first few months I worked there. Well, this one day he leaned over and he handed me this little powder. And I was like, you into some stuff, man? Like, what is this? And he goes, it's ketones. You got to drink it. I was like, all right. So I asked him about it, and he told me what it was, and I had it, and my mind clicked in gear. Boom! I was like, what? Is this like loaded with caffeine? He's like, it has a little bit in it, but not tons. I was like, then what's doing that? He's like, that's the ketones. And I was like, oh my gosh. Pretty much every day since that point, every time I would drive my bike into ClickFunnels. I get there usually at 5:45. I get in my seat. I was ready to work at 6, but I would pound one of those ketone drinks and it clicked my brain in gear. Boom! I do accredit a significant amount of what I've been able to get done in such a short amount of time to drinking consistent therapeutic ketones most of my life. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have kept back a long time what MLM I'm in. Here we go. I'm in Prove It, and I'm under Russell's downline, and I'm directly under him. And I'm telling you that because a lot of you reach out and ask, and I figure it might as well be on the last episode of this. I'm in Prove It, all right? And so I drink Prove It ketones. It's awesome. It's super cool, and my team uses this thing called hackmlm.com, which I created. And if you guys are interested in joining, you're more than welcome to reach out and ask. Now, I'm bringing that in only because a lot of you, please don't get weird on me. I'm just telling you that's what I'm in. I've kept it from you very well for the whole time. The thing is, one of the time I told you. So if you're interested, sweet. let us know. If you're not, I don't care. And that's all right. I'm here to change the industry, and I want the industry to get upgraded from the freaking 90s, okay? So what I'm gonna do real fast is I'm gonna tell you how I structured the show to be so successful. This is one of the ways that you structure content. So those of you guys who are content producers, content providers, those of you guys who are trying to figure out how to launch an SLO or launch your own little mini product so you can get leads off of it, what I'm about to cut over to here is one of the most key realizations I had probably about a year ago, was really when I started opening this gate in my brain. And I was like, oh my gosh. And once I started realizing this, it has become a cornerstone foundational piece to everything I have created since. I know it is one of the reasons we do so well with so few people and such, meaning like employees, as well as such low overhead, okay? This is big. And I want you to understand that, and I'm going to preface it that way. So let's cut over to that video real quick here. Guys, thanks so much for being in Secret MLM Hacks Radio, for being a long-time listener. I know a lot of you guys heard every episode. And if you could, I'd love a review from you guys on iTunes or wherever. And just let us know. Actually, if you go to smhreview.com, that will actually send you to our review site for this specifically as well. So anyways, thank you so much. It means a lot. I'm very, very thankful to have done all this. And, when I first started this, I really just wanted to go help a lot of people and kind of document my journey. And now it's fun to see iTunes loaded with all these funnel-based MLM shows. And it worked. So those of you guys who are doing content generation like that too, is congrats, welcome. Thank you so much. You're helping change the industry by changing what people consume. Thank you so much. And this has been a lot of fun. Let's cut over to the video and see how I structured the show for success. So basically, here's the story. When I launched Secret MLM Hacks, it actually was about, most people don't know, it's about 5-6 years ago. It was one of the first major products I actually launched, because I realized you could actually get people to come to you to join your downlines instead of you going to them. And I was like, this is so cool, right? And so I started and I launched this thing. And this was the product that took me 8 months to go put together. I spent 8 months putting it together, and I was in full-time school. I was married. I had kids. I was in the Army. Life was busy. And I went, and I remember for me to spend like 2 or 3 hours a day with all the other things that were going on, that was a lot of time for me. And this was the first personal funnel I ever built with ClickFunnels. So about 5 years ago. It was right after ClickFunnels left beta. And Russell didn't know who I was yet. We did not work together yet. I was still in college. And I had spent 8 months building this thing. And the day comes for me to launch it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to launch this thing. It's going to be so incredible. I cannot wait. I go and I launch it. And I'm like, man, the next thing I need to go, I always joke, the next thing I need to go figure out is, what island will I buy? Right? I see you guys' comments coming on in. Let me come to them in a second here, because I want to address a few things with this. Okay. And I go to launch it, and crickets. Nobody bought. It took me months to figure out how to sell it after that. And in fact, I actually forgot about Secret MLM Hacks. Secret MLM Hacks was something that completely, I just forgot about it. I was on to the next thing. I was like, crap, I missed the funnel bubble or whatever. And suddenly I was walking through campus, and my phone like chirped, ding, and money was like, you made $7.95. It was a free plus shipping funnel back then. And I was like, who the heck is sending me money? I actually forgot the funnel was up. Some guy stumbled onto it. About 5 minutes later, ding, someone bought the $97 upsell. About 4 minutes later, ding, someone bought the $300 thing. And I was like, whoa, and we were living on student loans still at the time. And so I was like, $300? Are you kidding me? This is, who's sending me $300? And I had to go backwards. I was like, oh my gosh, how did you find it? I was so shocked the dude found it. I reached out to him. I said, how did you find this? And he goes, this is life-changing stuff. I don't know who you are, but I stumbled onto your thing. Why aren't you selling this more? And that's actually how Secret MLM Hacks came about. And I started talking about it. And literally months after that, I got hired by Russell. I was building funnels for other companies. I got hired by Russell, and I kind of just let it go to the side, right? And people started talking about it and buying from it. And I did other versions of it. And it was so Secret MLM Hacks is this thing that's been going for a long time. The principles that are in there is very powerful. So why close it? Why close it? Well, okay, so let me just tell you. Okay, well, let me come here. You are human. Thank you, Randy. You're joking, right? No, I'm not. But I want to share with you guys where this is all coming from. I want to come on your podcast and discuss why giving back is a totally flawed theory and why I'm against it, and you should be too. Well, No, I don't think it's a flawed theory. You can hear me, sweet, sweet, sweet. Cool, awesome. Okay, so this is what happened. Is I was sitting. When I went to that first funnel hacking live event. This is like the other side of the story that most of you guys don't know about. Okay, so I was sitting in funnel hacking live, and this guy named Russell Brunson gets up and he starts pitching this thing called ClickFunnels certification. It's the CF Certified Partners program. And I was not hired by ClickFunnels. Remember, I had bootstrapped my way there. I was trading funnels for plane tickets and funnels for hotel nights and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm just hustling, right? I was like, I don't have money. What do I have? Grit, right? And so I got there. And I was sitting in the event room, and Russell pitches ClickFunnels certified, and I was already becoming a funnel nerd. And in his communities teaching, and in his communities answering questions, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I need to do the CF Certified Partner Program. I didn't have any money, and I didn't know that you could get a loan from PayPal. I didn't know that you could. So I called PayPal, and I went and I got a loan to get in the CF Certified Partner Program to just put like a couple grand down, and they let me in. So I'm at the event, and in the same day, I joined the CF Certified Partner Program and got like 3 job offers. 2 more came a little bit after that. So as I'm sitting there in there, I was like, well, what the freak? Like, what would happen if I worked at ClickFunnels? I can't even believe it. And while this is going, I have this little thing on the side called Secret MLM Hacks. Okay, Secret MLM Hacks has been moving and it's been going for a while. And I was like, you know what? All right, I got hired. I went and I drove over to I went to college at BYU, Idaho, which is East Idaho. It's 5 hours from Boise. In the middle of my finals, I got in the car and I drove over to Boise, and I'd never been to Boise. I have no family here. I still live 3 miles away that direction from ClickFunnels right now. And Stephen, why are you telling all this? I was like, hey, I really want to go do the CF Certified Partner Program. It was supposed to be a 3 to 6 month program. I did it in 2 weeks in the mornings, and which they didn't like. It was supposed to take me longer to do the program, and I did it in 2 weeks. And my final thesis project, which in CF Certified Partner Program, what you're supposed to do is at the end launch a funnel and go make money with it. The funnel I launched was this little funnel that I had been limping along that I knew needed changes called Secret MLM Hacks. Okay, a lot of you guys don't know the story. This is why I'm telling it to you. So Secret MLM Hacks was relaunched because of the CF Certified Partner Program. And when that happened, it got picked up in all these different forums. And that's what started making me the first real money I'd ever seen. Not tons, but more than I was getting paid even at ClickFunnels. And I was like, holy crap, this is crazy. This is so intense. Oh my gosh. And what was nuts about this, nice, Ken. That's not true. I'm going to stick to this. If you want to talk offline, we can, but you can comment about what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Secret MLM Hacks was actually launched from the CF Certified Partner Program. And what was cool, it was like the second or third time I had relaunched it. And every time I was relaunching it, I was making it less nerdy, less nerdy, less nerdy. And those are some of the issues that I was like, man, you have to be a funnel builder in order to have success with this program. So as time has gone on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to leave ClickFunnels. I was like, you know, the thing that I could go launch that I know has been proven because the market's already paying for it, I could relaunch it, but do it way better, is this thing called Secret MLM Hacks. So I launched it and I left ClickFunnels, and that's, I left ClickFunnels and then I relaunched it. And that's the thing that created the parachute as I left my job and let me go create other funnels and create other marketing things and go put other stuff together, right? And it's been, you didn't know this about Secret MLM Hacks course. I know, Nick, isn't that crazy, right? Like, this is how it actually came about. It's not a new thing. That actually was an idea that I had sitting on my couch 2 a.m. in the morning, reading an ebook that I cannot remember the name of. I remember the guy's face. I don't remember the name of the ebook. Because I had just failed in another network marketing thing, and I was like stressing out, like, how are these big guys actually doing the game? And then I saw ClickFunnels come out, and I was like, what the freak? I could pre-create recruiting machines and give them to those people who joined my downline, which is what I do now. But that idea actually came to me like 6 years ago. I didn't pull it off till about another year later when ClickFunnels finally came out. And then it's been iteration after. That's why it's so good. It's because it's been like It's been a lot of launches, man. It's not like I just pulled it out of thin air. I had done it multiple times. So then you're like, well, crap, Steven, what about the title of this video? Why close Secret MLM Hacks? It's not a joke. Here's the thing that I've run into. About 3 years ago, something like that. If you were to go see the education that was available to the general network marketing and MLM space, right, and apply this to anything that you guys go into. This is one of my biggest secrets ever. This is one of my biggest tricks ever. If you want to know that something is stable, like something is going to be a long-term thing for you to go launch a product into, like a long-term market for you to launch a product into, go see what your dream customer is consuming. Go see what your dream customer, go see what the content is that they're consuming. And if the content sucks, it is a blessing. So I went into iTunes and I typed in MLM. And I went into iTunes and I typed in network marketing. And I went into Amazon and I looked at the top bestseller books lists around MLM and network marketing. And I went in and I started looking at YouTube videos. And guess what I learned? Largely, stereotypically, the content provided to that industry is a pile of hot, steamy garbage. It sucks, right? About 3 years ago. It was all this rah-rah mindset crap with no tactical things on how to actually go do it. If you believe it, you can achieve it, right? All that kind of crap. I hate that stuff. Teach me the tactics on how to go pull it off. I got the belief already. That's not the part I struggle on. So that's a benefit. That's actually a blessing. Because, one of my favorite books. My mind's spinning, guys. I've had 2 rounds of keto today. Okay, check this out. There is a book called Trust Me, I'm Lying. Here it is. Okay, Trust Me, I'm Lying. This is one of the best books. I recommend everybody go read it whenever your actual thing is up. This isn't like homework to do pre-launch. Do it post whatever you're selling is actually launched. In Trust Me, I'm Lying, he teaches. Now think about this for a second, right? In World War II, whole nations were led astray just because of the news they were consuming. Because of propaganda, entire nations were being led astray. That's how powerful content is. That's why someone's like, I don't want to publish. Okay, dumb. Publish. So if that's the case, and I saw that a market, this is like a cognitive decision of mine, guys, okay? This is not like me looking backwards and seeing the pattern. This is one of the reasons I actually went into MLM. Is because I went and I saw all the content that they were being provided was dumb. All belly to belly stuff based in the 80s and the 90s, no tactical changes usually around. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when I saw that, so when you're going and you're selling your people, look at that and say like, oh my gosh, what is the quality of the content that is being provided to my dream customer? And if it's not awesome, it is one of the largest blue ocean gaps that is the easiest thing to go step into ever. So about 3 years ago, you could go look in iTunes and look up network marketing and MLM and all that stuff, and the quality of the content, I'm not bashing on them, but it had nothing to do with actual real marketing and what I would consider to be marketing today, okay? So this is a big deal. So then my answer was like, well, wait a second. What if I just change what they're consuming? That is why I launched the podcast, Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Again, I don't care if you're in network marketing or MLM or not. I'm telling you why I moved into the industry I'm in. I'm not here to, if you're in it, which I still recommend that everyone goes in it because it's a good back end business. It's not my front end business. I have funnels that just auto recruit people in the back, and that goes and piles up money and we buy real estate with it. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I think it's, anyway, whatever. So I'm here to sell you guys in it. I'm helping you see like why it was a logical decision for me to go into, because I've had people make fun of me in the past. Steven, lead funnel builder from ClickFunnels goes into MLM? Like, yes, son, because of X, Y, and Z. And it's been one of the easiest. Anyway, so because the content wasn't amazing, all I have to do is change what they consume, and story supports belief. So if I just change the stories they consume, I will change their beliefs about funnels and the internet and modern tactics. That's why we did it. From the get-go. By design. What's up, son? I need something. Let me drop. Mic drop. Okay. So I went and I launched Secret MLM Hacks Radio. And what that started doing was it started causing this active, right? I was shaking this boat, shaking the boat. It caused this wake. on purpose. And if you listen to the intro of that show, I'm not throwing rocks, I am throwing mountains. Okay? It is like so aggressive. Right? It's rocking the boat crazy hard. And it's super, anyway, crazy nuts. Crazy nuts. So what I did, exactly, Douglas, right? New content equals new vehicle. And when I started realizing, because the book, my mind's firing, guys. Just stick with me for a second. The book Play Bigger teaches that in order for a product to really survive, you also have to create the ecosystem around it. What is the ecosystem? So mostly it's content. People have to be talking about you, not just buying from you. So I was like, well, shoot, let's create the ecosystem. Let's go create content. Their content's not amazing. I tell more story, changes beliefs, and then it's very easy to go sell the product that I wanted to them. So that's what we did. Few issues we've run into along the way. Go figure. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Merry Christmas. Okay. And I'm going to say that, not happy holidays, because of the amendments. Okay. So what do you guys think the issues are with calling something secret MLM hacks? I didn't name it by any strategic thing. That was, I don't know. I was trying to come up with like, well, Russell calls it. This is a name I came up with like 6 years ago. Okay. But anyway, so secret MLM hacks, the 3 most freaky words to most advertising platforms in a single title. That has caused some major behind the scenes issues with any bank, with any payment processor. Facebook loves that term. Okay. That has been one of the most like, yeah, exactly. Compliance, most like compliance. Oh my gosh. Oh, secret. Okay. MLM. Hacks. Like, oh, it's funny how many people who just really don't know anything about marketing have reached back out. They'd be like, I'm not going to click on anything in an email that has the word hack in the email. It's like, yeah, because hackers say they're hacking you. Like, what? No, that's not how it works. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we've run into so many issues by calling it secret MLM hacks. The broader the traffic.